EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for March 8th, 2022. It is Tuesday, and it's going to be a much calmer day today as far as the wind is concerned. We had a squall line move through last evening, late afternoon, evening, across the territory, and it packed quite a punch with more than several wind damage reports with trees and power lines down, a lot of power outages with that. Today is not going to be anywhere near that as far as the winds are concerned. A little breezy this morning, and then the wind should die down this afternoon. And mostly sunny skies are expected today with near average temperatures. We're coming back down to reality after having a couple days in the 70s for back-to-back days, and in northern areas upper 60s. But mostly sunny skies will be the general rule for today. Today's video forecast is sponsored by J. Evans Property Services. It is that time of year, and spring is right around the corner. Soon. If you're looking for quality work at competitive prices from a family-owned business, J. Evans Property Services is the way to go. They offer premium landscaping, sod install, drainage solutions, and landscape design, as well as residential and commercial complete property maintenance. Right now, they have a 10% off promotion on any landscape install or mulching when scheduled now through April 15th. And you can call or text the number above me here in the video. And you could also schedule an estimate through the website. It is landscapingcontractorslancasterpa.com, all one word, landscapingcontractorslancasterpa.com. They are serving the York, Lancaster, Chester, Berks, Lebanon, and southern Dauphin counties in Pennsylvania, and also northern Maryland. They are J. Evans Property Services, proud sponsors of the Tuesday video forecast. Okay, so we got a mess coming in tomorrow, which we're going to discuss here in this video here too. But today, again, mostly sunny skies, near average temperatures. Here's that system that is going to be coming in for Wednesday. Now, this is interesting because we're right on the heels of back-to-back 70-degree days in a lot of areas, right? And this seems like almost unfathomable, but there is, in fact, going to be snow falling at a minimum. How much sticks is going to be a different story. The ground on the paved surfaces anyway should be okay. I don't think you're going to have an issue with paved surfaces. Maybe very early in the morning you get a little slushy spot, couple spots in a few driveways or parking lots, but that's it. It should quickly melt off as soon as the sun comes up, and you have that melt off. And in areas that it starts after the sunrise, you shouldn't have an issue at all. But it's not going to be coming down really too heavy. So this should be a quick mover, and it's mainly northwest areas northwest of I-95 and north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Okay, so this is not northwest of I-95 in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and then also north of I-76, the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And Pennsylvania is where you're accumulating snow possibilities are going to occur. So I don't think Philadelphia is going to get into that. Maybe a coating or something like that before it goes over to other precipitation types. In this case, will be mixing with rain and then changing to rain, we think, in those areas. Let's get over to the NAM high-res future simulator radar. I'm going to start this off here at 2 a.m. to move this forward. And you can follow the timestamp in the upper right-hand corner of the video right here, and it shows you the exact time we're talking about. So let me move this forward into the morning, and you can see in southern areas it might start off as just rain there, or maybe get a brief bit of snow or something like that, but it's going to be a rain-snow mix in between. But you see all this blue on here, and it takes over as we get up to 11 o'clock in the morning. Even areas that started off as a mix might go over to snow as you get that evaporational cooling going on as the snow's falling, okay? So this is all snow in the blue here, and you see further south it's all rain, and then we get further into the day, you see this snow-rain line creeping up, getting all the way up close to I-78, actually. So parts of Bucks, Montgomery should go over to, or at least mix with, some rain at some point, and then further south you're just rain at that point. And this should end by late afternoon or maybe early evening at the latest, and it's out of here. But that's a long time for it to snow. Now, it looks like it's going to be a lot of snow. And if you look at these snow maps that are being printed out, this is the NAM that ran this evening, and it has a pretty strong swath right along I-78 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, over 6 inches of snow. And I see a lot of people sharing this map out there saying, wow, we're going to get a lot of snow out of here. Out of the system, and it's not going to work that way. And there's a couple reasons why. If I change this to a positive snow depth change map, okay, this is what it has instead, a swath of 1 to 3 inches in that area. The reason for that is temperatures are going to be marginal. They're going to be in the 32 to 35, 36 degree range, okay? So If this were January, it would be a different story. We're now in March. You have the sun angle playing a factor into this. So you'll have some accumulations on mainly non-paved surfaces, elevated surfaces, trees, fence posts, cars, things like that, power lines, branches, whatever. You'll have some accumulation on that and the grassy surfaces, of course. But you're going to get to a point in the day where the sun is still radiating through the clouds, and you'll have snow falling onto existing snow on the ground and continuing to add up. But at the same time, it's going to be melting underneath that layer. So you're going to have you're really not going to be adding too much once you get to a certain point. So I think you're going to have an area swath in here. You might have a 1 to 3 inch area, and then coatings to an inch around that. The reason you don't have as much further north on the NAM here is because this is coming in later. So even though it's snowing here, it allows the temperatures to increase a little bit more before it gets up in those areas. And so that's why your best swath right now is looking right along I-78. Now, that could change between now and later today when we put out a snow map for this. We didn't do it yet on purpose because we knew this was going to move around, and it certainly will. But areas, if you're down here by some of these metro areas, by Philadelphia, southern New Jersey, Delaware, parts of Maryland, I wouldn't expect too much out of this. I really wouldn't, unless you get out here in the mountains where it's a little higher elevation. So you see western Maryland's getting into that, south central PA is getting into that. So these are this is mainly showing a bullseye, if you will, for this. And again, it's going to be lower to mounts, not exactly what the snow maps are printing out, but you are going to have some areas that are in the snow hole areas getting filled with a little bit more snow and adding to the season total. It's not going to be a lot, but it's something. It all adds up, right? But again, this ends here generally late afternoon to early evening here on Wednesday, and then it's out of here. And in some areas, it's I-78 northward especially, you're looking at an all-snow event, even though it might be falling and not really sticking too well after a certain point, if that makes any sense, okay? So let's get beyond this now, because there's another system coming in this weekend that's a little interesting too. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's going to bounce around a little bit. But the main gist of this system coming in, after we get to Thursday, it's a partly cloudy day. Temperatures get back up to near average again, maybe 48, 50, something like that. When we get to Friday, and I'll switch this over to the new run here. When you get to Friday, it is a partly to mostly cloudy. They're going to have clouds increasing, okay, throughout the day. And then we're expecting some rain showers. Rain showers initially. You're going to have rain first, okay? Regardless of what happens. You have a big, deep incoming trough here. And it's all going to come down to timing of this trough. If this is a little bit faster, by just a couple hours, it makes a big difference between, even though you're starting off as rain, how quickly you change over to snow and then how much accumulates after that point. The European model that ran today that I'm showing you here was quite aggressive with that progressiveness of this particular system. It takes a little bit further east, a little faster, so that when it gets off the coast here, you get all this rain changing to snow, and you get a decent amount of it, especially in the far interior locations, far northern and western areas in central Pennsylvania get into it pretty good. And then this continues off the coast. By the time we get to Saturday afternoon, at some point it tapers off, and then that's it. Deep trough settles in, and it's going to be cold here for Saturday night and Sunday. So this all comes down to timing of this. Now here's the GFS run this evening. Did the same thing. I'm going to show you what this did. Brings it in. It's a little bit further west, not as progressive with this trough. So it starts off as rain, and it's rained longer. And actually, the low pressure tracks right over top of our area. It does change to rain, mix with and changes to rain at the very end here, as you can see. But it's only flakes, and it's only a few minor accumulation areas here in our far western and northwestern areas, and that's it. Okay, just a little bit. They're very close, but they're only a couple hours different on the timing of this trough. If it's a little bit faster, it makes a big difference for what we'll receive across the area. Right now, I would not expect too much southeast areas. But when you get northwest of I-95, especially the further northwest of I-95 you get, when you get up like by I-80 in Pennsylvania especially, you'll have the opportunity to get several inches of snow. That is certainly possible. But we're a long way away from that. I want to cover this one first, which is the system coming in on Wednesday. Even though it's minor, we're going to deal with them one at a time, and we'll continue to follow the second one throughout the week. Is it going to be as robust here as the European model suggests, and further east, and you get more snow for those areas northwest of I-95, or is it going to be something that's going to be far northwest, or maybe not even at all? Maybe it just changes over from rain to a few flakes at the end, and that's it. And there's no appreciable accumulation. It's all is on the table yet, and there's a lot of time to look at this in the week ahead. So we will continue to do that in upcoming videos throughout the week. Right now, we're going to focus on the Wednesday system and who gets what and for what areas. But again, right now, the NAM is suggesting that these areas along I-78 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey are going to be your bullseye zones, for so to speak. But it's still going to be capped at probably 3 inches or less for most of those areas. Okay, so we'll have a map out later today once we have new data and make sure this isn't shifting around or anything or amounts aren't changing. But just be careful with the snow maps because they're probably way overdone as from what they show. Even the Kushera maps, which are trying to simulate what, taking into account ratios and things like that, they're still overdone. Okay, so just look at these snow depth, positive snow depth change maps. If you have Weather Bell, you can select that option for the NAM, and it'll give you a better idea of what to expect from this upcoming system. But either way, we'll have a map out today at 5 o'clock with discussion and send alerts out prior. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for March 8th, 2022. Have a great Tuesday.